Oh, man, I miss the 20th Century Fox introduction to every Star Wars film. There's something definitely missing without that in there. Hi everyone! So when we started this CrazyKinz channel right at the beginning, I did a movie review of Jurassic World, and it kind of just died. I was gonna do an Avengers Age of Ultron review, but that never happened, and I was like, I can't just do one review for one film and not review the other films. But then Star Wars came out, The Last Jedi, and I started thinking maybe I should do another movie review series. Welcome to Claire's Ciniflix Corner. Yeah, that's its name. We are all anticipating for May the 24th when Star Wars Solo is coming out, which I'm really excited about because this means that we get to follow our favourite scoundrel, Han Solo. Leading up to that, I decided, well, it's May 4th today, it's Star Wars Day, and so why don't I review the first original Star Wars? And then I was like, well, why don't I do all three into the lead up of Solo? And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with Star Wars A New Hope. It was released in 1977 and it was directed by George Lucas, and it was also written by George Lucas. It stars Alex Guinness, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford are some of the names. There's a whole lineup, but you can go look at that on IMDb. You don't need to know that here. It is set in space. It's a Star Wars. Let's review it. So first of all, the things that I don't really like about this movie, because I don't have a lot of cons, because I love this movie. It's probably my second favourite Star Wars movie of all time. Some of the problems that this movie have are a lot of the problems that are in a lot of the Star Wars films. One of them being writing issues. There are some really bad lines in this movie, and we know that actors actually struggled with some of the lines in this movie. Harrison Ford hated them. Mark Hamill insisted on deleting one of the lines from his script because he just did not want to say it, and Alex Guinness is known for not really liking the script as well. So there are some problems with the script writing. Again, this movie is aimed at kids, so some of the lines are childish. So yeah, there are some problems with the script, but there are also some amazing memorable lines that people still quote to this day. Also, there are some pacing issues. Don't get me wrong, this film is really good at pacing. It flows, like there isn't really long sequences or really short, but there are points where you are left with a story for a little long, and we know that George Lucas had this problem back when he was editing this Star Wars, as a lot of scenes, especially with Luke Skywalker, were completely cut from the movie just because of pacing issues. The scene that I'm like particular about is that we are with Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan for a really long time. Not that I have a problem with it, but it is something that the movie struggles with. You kind of get lost in that, and then you're like, oh wait, the Empire are coming after Luke and Obi-Wan. There is a threat. And then the film kind of fixes itself with really quick cuts and makes it a lot better. But there are some cutting problems with this movie. Either scenes cut too quick or they take a really long duration. Another problem that I have with this movie is kind of a mild thing, and I'm sure a lot of Star Wars fans have this problem, is Chewie doesn't get a reward at the end of the movie. Again, it's a mild problem. I love this movie. I'm not gonna have a lot of problems with it, but it is one thing. Why didn't Chewie get a reward? He was part of the hero squad as well. Just because he's a Wookiee doesn't mean that he doesn't get anything, but apparently so. Thanks, George Lucas. Okay, now on to the positives about this movie. The score for this movie is absolutely amazing. The music is so memorable that even if you haven't seen this film, even if you've never seen a single Star Wars film, you know this music. You've heard it. It has a way of impacting you no matter if you've seen a Star Wars or you're a huge fan of Star Wars or you like Star Wars. And that's because it is composed by John Williams, who, as we all know, is an amazing composer of music. It's so well characterized for every scene. Two particular scenes that I think it plays the most powerful impact on the story. When Luke is looking over at the two suns, obviously that soundtrack has become one of the most memorable. It's known as the Force theme, or as it was originally called, the Binary Sun theme, or Obi-Wan's theme, whichever one you choose to accept it as. That score was amazing, and it's probably one of the most well-known Star Wars films, along with the opening crawl theme, and of course the attack on the Death Star scene, and it's probably one of the most memorable scenes in this film. And it was because of the music. If you take the music out of that scene, it would just literally be Luke Skywalker probably flying through space. I'm telling you, like, I can just listen to a tiny bit of the Star Wars theme, the scores, and you just get the feels straight away. It's an amazing score. It's so memorable. Another positive thing about this film is its pacing. This film is really fast paced, really well flowing, and it does an amazing thing about fleshing out its characters. Because of the way it's shot and the way that the characters are brought to life by the actors, it also does an amazing job of still keeping to the story. That's so important in a cinematic film. You want to be able to engage with the characters and understand them and who they are, but you also want to watch a really good action film, and that's what Star Wars does. Speaking of characters, let's talk about how good the actors are. Now, even though the film struggles a lot with its script writing, it's the actors that really bring these lines to life and really make you forget sometimes how bad this script is. We all know that Luke Skywalker is a farm boy, and I think that Mark Hamill hits this right on the doornail. His acting as a farm boy who is a teenager, who's sometimes grumpy, who complains, he plays that really well, and you don't need that whole establishing deleted scene where he's like interacting with his friends and disappointed that he can't move on and that he has these dreams. You take that away, Mark Hamill's performance is still good. You still believe in his character, that he really does want to get off the planet that he lives on, and that he just wants to be a pilot and wants to be out there, part of the action. As we are looking forward to Solo, I think one of the best acting in this film is done by Harrison Ford as Han Solo. And I think he really, really puts across the character of Han Solo as being arrogant. Me and my best friend watched Star Wars the other day. She's never seen it before. I asked her to rate the characters. Now, she didn't like Han Solo, which, I'll be honest, when I was a kid I didn't really like him. But the reason she didn't like him is because he was arrogant, and because he was cocky, and because he doesn't believe in the Force. And it's so true. Like, Harrison Ford plays that role so well that you don't really know if you like him or not. So it was really nice to be reminded of that fresh view of seeing Harrison Ford's performance again and be like, okay, yeah, he is a scoundrel, he is annoying, but he's also lovable. Carrie Fisher, who is one of my sister's favourite actresses and also my sister's favourite character in Star Wars, Leia, she puts across a very powerful, strong female character, female lead, who is just so incredible and so loved. She's brave, she's courageous, but she also has a heart. You know, she's not just this one type character. Carrie Fisher is put across really amazingly as Princess Leia, and you really do feel that she is Princess Leia. And I know that she always said that when she was alive, how she really felt for this character, and it's believable. You can tell from her performances how much she put into this character, and just creating that badass tomboy character that we love today. And then of course you have Grand Moff Tarkin. I absolutely hated him as a kid. Like, I did not like him. I was so grateful when they killed him off. And that is because of the actor's performance as Grand Moff Tarkin. He puts across this villain that you do not like and you do not want to mess with at the same time. You can see that he has a lot of power. He's the controller of the Death Star, let's be honest. And so, like, it's just amazing how you really do feel that these characters have character and personality. And of course, Darth Vader, who was my favourite character as a kid. He is fleshed out so well, because even though the actor who originally played Darth Vader in the suit is not James L. Jones, the way that the actor performed Darth Vader and the way that James L. Jones portrays his lines, they just merge together and they create this really memorable presence. Darth Vader has this presence about him that can only be portrayed by that voice, by that breathing, and by that stance. Every time he's on screen, you just feel his presence. You feel that is Darth Vader. He is a villain. He's not meant to be messed with. This film is really good at character development, and let's be honest, it could be a single film on its own. Like, you could just watch Star Wars and just be like, this is a really good film. I don't need to watch the rest of the series. I've just had a really good adventure that's fresh, that's new, that has really good characters and is really engaging. Another thing that I love to mention about this movie is the costumes are on point. One of my favourite costumes in the originals is C-3PO's. His costume is so realistic that you feel like he really is a robot, and that sometimes you forget that there's a person inside of that. Even R2-D2 as well, and all of the droids, you forget that they really do have people in them. You really do feel, okay, C-3PO, he is a droid. R2-D2, he really is a droid. Costume is just amazing. Darth Vader's costume is so cool that sometimes you think, is he a droid or is he a person? And then we get onto sound effects. The guy who creates the sound effects for the Star Wars films, his name is Ben Burtt. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He revolutionized the way sound effects are used in films. Because of this, he actually received a special award at the Academy. So Chewbacca's growling, which is probably the most coolest thing, and people today still try to make their Chewie sounds, was created with a blend of bear sounds, lion, walrus, and badger vocalizations. Here's my favorite one. Darth Vader's sinister breathing, which we all know, the moment you hear it, your mood changes, was recorded by sticking a microphone inside a scrubber tank regulator. Like, who came up with that? Like, why would you do that? That's crazy. The one that everyone obviously wants to hear, the lightsaber sound. The famous lightsaber buzzing whoosh was made by blending the hum of a 35mm file projector and passing a broken microphone cable by the tubes of an old TV set. Like, that's crazy. It's still iconic today. Like, me and my brother were watching Transformers the other day, the old TV series, and there's a part in it where you hear like one of the characters flying and it sounds like a TIE fighter, and we're just like, this isn't Transformers, man, this is a TIE fighter. But it just goes to show, like, how incredible is that? Like, that sound can still be recognized today. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is right at the beginning, where you have the two ships cross over the top of the camera, and you feel like they're ships. It's hard to think that they are just models that were created by some guy in Pinewood Studios. Like, it's amazing how realistic some of these models are. Okay guys, well, I hope you've enjoyed my review. For this movie, I am going to give Star Wars A New Hope, the original cut version, a 4.5 out of 5. As I said before, this is my second favourite Star Wars movie, and so it has a very special place in my heart. I love the characters, I love the adventure. This is a standalone film. Like, you could just watch New Hope and you wouldn't need to watch the rest. It's done amazingly. Direction of it was really good. It lacks in some places on script wise, and there are some parts of it that are kind of long duration. And so yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and comment below and let us know what you thought of this review. Did you like it? Was it fun? Do you want to see more reviews? Do you want me to do more films? I hope you have a really good day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye! I was gonna do a Revengers Age of Ultron review, but then I was like, I haven't done any of the other. But it just felt like I was gonna do too many movies because I had to do all the other Avengers and the Marvel movies, and I was like, maybe not. And especially now, can you imagine if I tried to do it now? That would be a lot of movies to review, and I don't think I have that much time on my hands. Hi guys, today I am going to be reviewing a film. Yes, I'm going to be reviewing the Star Wars films. Hey everyone! Maybe I should do a Star Wars review now, like towards Star Wars Solo coming out. Harrison Paul, it's stars. They've stolen the Death Star plans. If you've watched Rogue One, you already know how it happens. Yeah. And it wouldn't be very entertaining. I don't know. if I'm okay to say that, but that's my opinion. So we go on a really cool adventure with 2 droids and a amazing farm boy and a scoundrel. That's probably a really bad description of Star Wars, but that's what I have for you today.